Hello indie game fans, the last full week of September brings us even more great indie games with a number of significant updates, new entries from familiar developers, and more roguelikes galore. This time on the best indie games out this week. When I last mentioned Sands of Salsa, a gorgeous looking action RPG from a Chinese developer, some of you lamented the fact that it was not in English, so here we are with the patch this week. This is an open world sandbox of sorts, where you must lead your troops into massive battles with enemies and mythical creatures, with a variety of factions, RPG customization options, and good old action RPG style combat. I'm impressed by the visual design, especially with how the characters look in contrast with the background, and the scale of battle is impressive as well due to the number of units on screen, which almost seems Dynasty Warriors-like. This just goes to show how much of a larger gaming world there is out there outside of traditional Western development, so I'm waiting to see more. Another title which impressed with the scale, Songs of Six is a colony sim city builder set in a fantasy world full of different races, cultures, gods, and creatures. You're able to build entire cities and empires with this, with up to 20,000 villages or so at a time, all fully simulated, and this too feeds into the combat system, where massive armies can clash. Serious RimWorld vibes with this, but on a grander scale, and I do like the low-bit pixel art. Indonesian developer Mojiken Studio is really knocking it out of the park, having just put out Coffee Talk earlier this year, and their latest release is When the Past Was Around. This is a beautifully illustrated adventure game about love, moving on and letting go, and looks like an emotional and touching experience. Indie Smash Bros like Rivals of Aether has been tremendously popular, providing a real alternative for people who love platform fighters, and the definitive edition is releasing this week on Steam and Switch. This bundles together all existing character DLC and adds new features, modes and extras, and if you already own it on Steam, you get upgraded for free. Art of Rally is a time trial racer which is focused on drifting and rally driving, and comes to us from the developer of the Zen-like Absolute Drift, which is one of my favourite races, even though I wasn't very good at it. And having found out that it is the same developer, I'm not surprised at the quality of this game. For a low-poly racing game, the vibrancy of the environments does get my attention, from lush greenery to hailing snowstorms, and based on the previous game, this does have impressive car handling models that would put Need for Speed to shame. The other title from a returning developer is Pendragon, a narrative tactics game set in Camelot, where the Knights of the Round Table must rally to save King Arthur. This is from developer Inkle, who previously made 80 Days and Heaven's Vault, so a tactics game is quite an interesting departure from the narrative roots. However, I do still expect the writing in this to be every bit as good, so the ball's in their court for now.
He's close! Oh, I guess not. Welcome back, valued viewer, to another episode of Gone Viral. We have some fresh talent to show you. I am so excited to see his potential. How about you? Let the carnage begin! Unbelievable! Do we have here the makings of a new champion?
The intergalactic game show is not a new setting, most recently seen in Redneck at Astro Monsters Show, so Gone Viral doesn't get points for the framing. However, what it does get points for is the pure mayhem and chaos of the minute-to-minute roguelite action. Oh, and add in a layer of meta commentary, since gaining followers as an arena gladiator increases your prestige. But there's also Twitch integration, which I'm most concerned about for the everyday gamer.
Well done! Let's see how far he survives. See you next week.
Just finished a video on roguelite deck builders, and the never-ending tide brings us yet another entry, Against the Moon.
Wake up, children. The ancient sun is rising again, blessing us with another beautiful day. To survive. Horrors of this war tear apart our souls, infecting us with fear and despair.
Play as superhuman warriors and fight against the nightmarish creatures of the moon in order to reclaim Earth for humanity. This, interestingly enough, cites Slay the Spire, Hand of Fate, and Talisman of All Things as inspiration, with lane-based deck-building combat, cards which can evolve, unique hero characters, and some really beautiful art. As you know, I love this genre, so I'm always down to check these out, so I'll report back in a bit once I get hands-on on this.
Standing on the edge of complete extinction, we strive for unity. And while our citizens suffer to get us through today, the best of humanity will forge our future. Ultori, heroes of Arx, blessed with our mark, will strike back. Decisively, they will crush our enemies, redeeming sins of the past and reclaiming our legacy. Yes, today we are looking into oblivion, but with smiles, for we stand united and strong against our true enemy, against the moon.
Another favourite genre of mine, the tactics RPG Tears of Avia makes it to launch and has you navigating a path through war-torn environments and abandoned cities, in a bid to find out where your morality lies. It's a very classic Japanese RPG style setup which I do appreciate, with a number of unique heroes to play as well, so I hope that enough thought has been put into the tactics combat system. I've been looking forward to Going Under ever since I came to know of it, since this is a wacky action roguelite that looks absolutely insane, parodying tech startup culture and just having a cool look. Play as an unpaid intern and work to recover valuable assets for your company, all in the name of experience. This developer did tweet out a very apt meme, which is true, but do support them since this looks awesome, taking the #1 spot. To see more of the big picture, check out these awesome videos and I will see you after the jump.